Hello, everyone. This is Vivek Saxena from Genpact. I lead finance and accounting service line for the company, and I work across different verticals. And that's what is the experience which I wanted to share in today's session. So today's topic is the virtues of virtual close, and we want to talk about what we have learned when we were closing the books for close to 110 plus Fortune 500 plus companies in last 2 quarters. And then we will also talk about what are the key themes they are investing it, prioritizing it for the future to drive true virtual and continuous close. So let me start. So when we looked at some of the learnings in the 4 months of COVID-19, March, April, May, June 2020, there were few themes which came around operational resilience and business resilience. So what you see here is it's a 2x2 metric, which is really saying what is the true priority they had in these 4 months against these 8 to 9 parameters. And I'll pick 3 or 4 in particular. So user experience, right? When the COVID crisis happened, especially in the month of March, at the beginning of the year, we did a survey for 600 plus finance leaders across the world. And we noticed that user experience is the top priority when it comes to finance transformation. But because of COVID, it took a hit and it took nearly 4 months to bring it back at the same priority. So that's one thing. Collaboration was the next big theme which was happening, and that led to working together in this virtual era. And if you see the one statement which you will hear from many of your clients and in our finance world as well, during COVID, 99% of the companies could close their books on time or just few hours before. Even if some companies took half a day extra or 1 day extra, it was planned. It was designed that way for that particular month. So that's a great success. In fact, many of the chief accounting officer and controllers are very happy with that. And that was possible because of effective collaboration and some adjustments, some policy changes, some close calendar changes which were done in that particular month or quarter. And the third theme I will pick is as cash was important, cost was important, consumer were important. So there was a big focus on improvising the cash flows. And the last I will pick, everybody was trying to maintain the business. One focus was around for forecasting for a few weeks. It was not getting the complete traction, but as business was finding new difficulties, new challenges, either in terms of customer preferences, priorities, supply chain issues, logistic issues, forecasting became much more important component of driving the business resilience. And then I'll pick on the second section of the challenges which clients encountered during the close process in these 3 to 4 months. I'll categorize in 3 big themes. Few were operational issues, some were upstream, downstream issues, some were around accounting and reporting. For a large company, there was an issue on accruals because the invoices backlog and many other lockdown conditions came, and then it had to be managed. Another example I'll pick around some of the systems were not available as per the scheduled time because some were part of the city lockdown or country lockdowns. So we had to manage that situation. Some of the inputs which were supposed to come from banks and other third-party providers, they took time, and we were supposed to, across client, they had this situation, how to manage this and, delay that particular component so that overall close is still in order. Then comes the point on some of the frequency of, say, reconciliation. Clients did risk classification. They decided how they can deprioritize low-risk reconciliation and move it to the next month and things like that. There were some issues on intercompany cutoffs or the materiality threshold. Some of those changes were done to ensure these timeline and the accounting nuances were taken care of in those 3 or 4 months period. But now, we are in September, October rather. Things have changed. Many of these things have become part of the process standardization journey as well. So let's see what they have done. So this is a 2x2 on different practices they applied in the record report area and what is the level of adaptation. So you will see there were some changes which were of temporary nature, some will become permanent, some were temporarily discontinued, some were continuing because they were still important. Now, temporary changes, as I was referring, some of the issues on accrual model, accounting estimations, intercompany threshold, especially for cost allocations and many other similar components. There were different policies adopted for initial 1 or 2 or 3 months. Then, okay, for every second theme I'll pick is for some of the accruals, not all information was available. So the clients took the call, okay, how to use past trends, historical information, and bit of a mix of empirical and heuristic evidences. Now, some changes which have happened finally because of COVID situation are kind of more permanent and for good, actually, right? When some of the risk classification have helped clients in identifying what are high risk accounts, what are the reconciliation which should be done on a higher frequency or daily, quarter, weekly, or monthly. That clarity is available. Second is, nobody had planned how closing could be done in a true virtual manner without going to office. I mean, this was something which was unheard of. Now, clients across industries, across countries have made it happen. And this is the first time I say accountants have managed the situation and driven the change in such fast speed. And the benefit of it is now this is real, and you will define it, or you will have a completely new operating model. And when that operating model shift is happening, it will be driven by some of the technology changes, some of the process changes, some of the policy changes as well. Now, there are 4 themes which are coming out of this learning, which we just talked about. And these 4 are cloudification, digitization, virtualization, and close acceleration. All this will lead to faster close, better close in the future. And that there are some industries which are spending more time and efforts in this area. Some are still coming up, but the theme is faster close, how to reduce your time to close, how to reduce your time to report. And that's the big journey which is happening. IFRS 17 is asking insurance companies to improvise their close and reporting process. For many of the regulator-driven industries like banking, there's a pressure on faster reporting of different nature, and which is not possible unless your accounting and reporting systems are effective. So that's the journey we are on. So let's start with the first theme called cloudification. Now, if you look at, there are 4 types of system, like system of record, which is primarily your ERP, system of engagement, which is your workflows, enabling applications like Blackline close module, Blackline task module, Blackline workflow, Blackline integrity and task matching modules. Then comes system of intelligence, which is applications like Anaplan, OneStream, visualization layer like Tableau, ClickSense, Power BI, and things like that. And top is system of collaboration, which we have used most effectively in last 3 to 6 months, like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and WebEx, and many similar applications. So if you see, at the time, I mean, before COVID hit us somewhere in March 2020, I mean, close to 40% of the clients were on true cloud scenario, right? Most of their applications were on premise, they still are, but they are on the journey of moving to the cloud, right? Taking these on-prem applications to the cloud, and that's where we are saying it will. I mean, very soon, next to 18 to 24 months, 70% of the clients will be there. System engagement layers like Blackline and similar applications, Workiva and many others. These are the applications which will make this cloud journey real. These are the applications which will make many of these clients controllership-related processes much more effective, which is need of the hour. And that will see much higher traction, that will see much higher adoption in next 18 months. So it's a great news for us and you that we will be able to use these latest and greatest application in terms of closing and reporting processes, which will make our close process much more effective. And the next is, the same logic applies to the planning and reporting and visualization applications, which are under the category of system of intelligence. And that's what we are seeing across clients. And most of our clients are actually looking forward to these new age applications to make their finance application world much more effective, processes much more standardized. Because with cloud, one big shift which is coming by default is how clients will have standardized processes. And that's what is the core need to make these closed process much more effective in the new operating model requirements. Next, I'll give you the example of how Blackline task management module which is going to improve the visibility, the control, and efficiency as well. When the COVID crisis hit us, different accountants in different parts of the organizations, there was an issue on they were not getting good visibility of which particular task is getting delayed, which particular task in country A versus B versus C should be reprioritized based on the lockdown situation, based on the number of cases coming up or moving down. Now, it is kind of proven that you need something like this as a default application for every close process in any organization for that matter. And we believe there will be huge shift which client will drive towards adoption of something like task management module, which will give them much better view on the controls and the control gaps. And of course, when everything is available to measure, I think that's what drives some efficiency, because you get to see what is the critical path, what is the critical effort, what is the peak load, and how to optimize those things in next 3 to 6 months or 18 months journey. So that's the journey we think we will be on, our clients will be on, and we'll be helping them together in partnership with Blackline. Second theme I wanted to pick was on digitization. Now, whether it is data integration, whether it is last mile automation, whether it is driving intelligent automation, whether it is democratization of automation, whether it is having better connectivity across sub-processes, across the systems interface, there are different providers who are making huge efforts to make life of accountants across clients much easier, much better. So you are seeing the latest features which are coming in S4HANA, Oracle Fusion, and Workday, and many other applications. You are seeing at system engagement layer, right? There are various automation applications available. There are various workflow applications available. ServiceNow is investing in giving different scenarios on managing the processes better through workflow. Alteryx is being used, across clients to drive automation through better understanding of data. I mean, many of the clients are using for automation in manual journals Alteryx as a good enabler. There are some new age applications coming, for example, Flowcast, which is using Excel much better and keeping their applications much lighter, because they don't have the end-to-end modules developed in-house in that particular application. They are using MS Office interfaces much better to keep their applications light and much effective for many of their small and medium-sized clients. Similar things we are seeing some of the new modules in Blackline, right? The theme on smart close, and that's the future. And the last, I will say, visualization is important. Whether these are hyperscalers or some of these great applications like Tableau, Power BI, or ClickSense, all are really working on driving the consolidation layer and reporting layer much more effective. And that's what will make the democratization of automation as well. What it means is you will be able to see as an accountant or senior accountant what automation you need on certain journals or reconciliations or intercompany reporting. And these applications will help you coding yourself. You don't need to depend on the IT team to really make these custom solutions developed for smaller, quick automations, which are many in many client situations we have seen. And this is the example of Power BI, whether it is Power Apps or it is Azure machine learning driven solution. Hyperscalers like Microsoft or Amazon Web Services or GCP, all are coming up with these micro applications, which will make it easier for accountants to code it better, to create these reports better, create these quick automation solutions better. And that's when augmented with machine learning component, will make some of the time-consuming accounting estimates calculations as part of the journals or the reconciliations or some of the difficult cost allocation programs which people have automated in Excel or using Access or still hugely manual exercise. They will become much more effective, much more automated. And more to the third theme, which is around virtualization. Now, if you see today, right, you will have a close governance application, right? Either some of the clients might be using Excel or similar applications to monitor different steps of the close. Then you will be using work distribution, either through email or SharePoint or similar applications. Then you will have support center or similar channel where common issues are addressed and resolved. Then you will have office team, which is actually doing the accounting and doing the job. Then comes the point where we see as future, where we say you will have completely integrated close governance application like Blackline, task management module. You will have conversational AI, which is a big theme which is getting played, and all leading tech providers have come up with these voice assistants. Outside of this experience we get with our Siri or Alexa, the same thing you will get in your office using or talking to the machines, and the whole form factor will change, the interaction model will change, and you will be able to hear the closing status while driving to the office in the morning, or just being at home while working at home. Next is the distributed workforce. Now, as this much huge automation will happen, it will lead to decentralized workforce as well, because they will be a mix of man and machine working together in different parts of the world. And the benefit will be they will be using some of these system of engagement layers, some of these automated solutions or latest and greatest ERPs to make their life easier, make accounting process much more effective. Finance team members will specialize in new areas. For example, some of the finance accountants will be spending time on how to drive robotics better. Some of the accountants will be working on how to remove the bias in the AI engines they are using in their balance sheet review process or accrual engine solutions. Some of the finance specialists will be creating these new machine learning driven insight engines for tracking the exceptions faster, better, and resolving it as well. And that will make this journey to continuous accounting much easier as well. Now, if you see, we have picked 4 sub-processes like fixed assets, recon, general accounting, or management reporting. The mix between office, which is at enterprise level, retained or centralized in different shared service center, is showing in the first row. Second row is like work from home, which was the scenario because not many organizations were effectively using it. Now, when we saw in Q1 post-COVID, some of the clients realized that offices are closed and now they need to work from home. So whether it was the retained organization of the client or whether it is the shared service center, everybody was working from home nearly in the same mix. Now, the way in 2021, the scenario could be that part of this team will be working from office, both at the retained organization and also there at the shared service center. And the mix will change between what it is for more rule-driven processes like fixed assets or reconciliation versus purely judgmental processes or business contextual processes like management reporting. The true scenario you will see in which is the complete new evolution of the operating model, where some of the work which is truly happening in retained organization or the shared service center, a lot of it will slowly start moving to work from home model. And that's where you will see a lot of cost optimization. But for that cost optimization, there is a huge investment which will be needed, which is around driving the processes much more automated. And before doing that, ensuring that these processes are standardized. You have one way of working across the organization, because then only this will become a reality. Otherwise, it will create more problems than actually solving the situation we are in. Next, I will pick the 4th theme was close acceleration. Now, this theme is getting played, and you have attended previous Blackline events as well. The theme is moving from linear close to continuous close. In between, there was a journey which some clients took, which is the follow the sun model, which is across different regions, how they can work, utilize their accounting talent, and help them in managing the close better, managing the close faster. But that is the difference between true faster close using follow the sun or true continuous close, where you need to have much more standardized world. So all these cloud enablement will make it easier for clients to have one way of working. And when your processes and policies are standardized, that will help you in driving automation in the accounting estimation process. And finally, that will help you in getting close at any time, because a lot of work which we do on month end is trying to take a cutoff and bring estimates to match the revenue versus expenses, match assets versus liabilities, and make the adjustments to make it balanced. And that what if it could be done by machines, right, using ML and AI engine, of course, then it will become much more effective process. And that's the future. In fact, most of the clients are working on not just on horizontal cycle reduction, which is like close cycle reduction, doing faster close, but also minimizing the peak load. Whether clients have 5 days close calendar or they have 10 days close calendar. Many of the accountants have to work for 120% or 140% or 150% of their time in those working days during the close. The theme is what automation and standardization and policy process fixes could be used to drive that journey much more standardized, much more easy when it comes to efforts during those days. And that extra time, it is not just the efficiency discussion. The point is, if that extra time is available, the clients or accountants will have more time to look at or analyze the numbers, ensure better reliability of the financial statements, and feel much more comfortable with the submissions which they are making to the regulatory authorities. And in that journey, we are working with many of our clients, and we have this application, we call it Continuous Close Accelerator, which is helping clients in getting that view. So the first view is, okay, you need to have understanding of different accounting processes and its reflection in different industries, which means the nuances of different industries should be part of the schema, so that if you have to improve, say, number of manual journal entries, you are on a journey to reduce the manual journals which are getting processed during the close. There is a nuance for each industry. Why do you have higher cost allocation, say, in banking world as compared to, say, insurance, versus some of the trading entities versus the manufacturing setup? And that helps us in giving views to the client through the neuro network driven model we have created across industries for key processes in this application. Second theme is you need to get complete visibility of your current close and also the peak load. Now, there are different dashboards and different measurements available as part of this application, which gives you a view on where your close is, where is your peak, where is the effectiveness of your staff, where is the effort parity, which means how much effort they are putting during the close process versus non-close days, and the gap between time to close and time to report and things like that. But the value comes when we help clients in giving different scenarios by giving insights of the learnings from a particular industry and how does it impact the close cycle and also the efficiency or the peak load, I should say. And different scenarios gives clients in defining what is the critical path of close, how fast they can truly do, and how much of efforts they can optimize so that it is much more balanced close process than just brute force of getting as many people needed on a particular day to meet the timeline. And not just scenarios, the future close cycle visibility is only possible when you get to see the complete transformation roadmap, so that you know what needs to be changed on the process, policy, operating model, digital controls in next 3 to 6 months or 3 to 18 months journey, so that this faster close or optimized close or journey to continuous close could be achieved. So this is one great addition which we are using in different client situations. It's proven very effectively and clients are loving it. So with that, I would like to close my session, and it was good talking to you and hope you are in good health. You are taking all precautions, and see you next time in the next in the Black event next year live. Good day.